some like Power Ranger freestyle one? Because that'd be pretty dope. All right, and rounding out the panel, we have Michael Copon!
Right.
It's like you guys get to a theme song.
We got our own show.
It's like mandatory now. We need Nakia at every con beatboxing.
Beatboxing, everybody.
Beatbox queen.
I just learned how to beatbox, but mine isn't that good.
My son just showed me these YouTube videos of these, oh my gosh, amazing beatboxers, so I can't even compare. I'm just an amateur, but I'll try.
Like they could do like the theme song of the
Yes.
show. Like it's like that cool.
They can produce their own music, like it's amazing.
What about you, David? Are you a beatboxer?
No.
Okay.
David can rap. He does
David's
really
a box
good.
beater.
Papa Z has a good rap. He's good at karaoke.
What's your go-to?
I've seen it.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
I do Lover Man by the Doors. That's my go.
Hey.
I go old school.
Same with me. I do Sinatra.
He also does a rap. Stop lying. Yeah, you do Humpty Dance all the time. Humpty Dance is his
Come on,
rap.
And
David.
he puts his hat
Here we go.
backwards, and he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Give him a little Humpty Dance, David. Come on. Come on, David. Get on it.
It's your turn. It's your turn. Come on, David,
I was waiting for you, Dave. Come on, man. Stop what you doing.
Okay, sorry.
I just want this panel to go on forever. Wow, and we haven't even started yet. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us here at Galaxycon. And this is one of my first Power Rangers panels. And what I think is so cool is Power Rangers has, I think, one of the best fandoms. And Power Rangers has affected, right? Okay.
Yes. For sure.
And I think it affects different people in different ways. And I was just curious, how has being part of the Power Rangers affected all of you?
Go down the road.
It's actually been very humbling and uplifting to be a part of it. I don't know what it is about the casting process for the show, but they always seem to laser in on people with really good hearts and who are really sort of like superheroes in their real life. And to be a part of that and to see how it has touched people throughout the generations and speaks to people in different countries and different languages, it's very humbling.
I agree.
Woo-hoo!
I agree. I mean, it's crazy because I remember getting, coming onto the show and they were like, it's the #1 kids show in the world. And you're like, what does that mean? It's crazy to think about and it's really hard to wrap your mind around something like that. But the Comic-Con experience has blessed us because we've been able to kind of like smell the roses and relive what we did 23, 25 years ago and meet all of you and see how it's affected your life and see how, you guys have never let it go. There have been so many different iterations of Power Rangers and our fans are so loyal and so awesome. So for me, it's just crazy to think that we're traveling all around the world and we get to hang out with all of you really cool people and the show just means so much. It was the #1 kids show in the world. It's crazy.
I just piggybacking on both what David and Karan said. It's a blessing when someone comes to my table and they say that I helped change their life, I've inspired them. Actually, someone just came to my table and told me that I raised him. He was like, I grew up on Power Rangers. You guys raised me. I was like, well, hello, son. So we were great babysitters, even though some of them were chopping on their siblings. But it's a blessing that you guys still follow Power Rangers and that you guys were even here and that you loved our characters and you were inspired and because we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing right now if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you. Round of applause for you. That's not big. That's very small. Round of applause. You don't get bigger than that.
Well, for me, slow and steady wins the race. This thing's been going on for a long time. I watched the original Mighty Morphins movie when I was 11, 12, and then I ended up becoming a Power Ranger. So for me, it changed my life in so many ways because I turned down a full-ride football scholarship out here in Virginia Tech. I'm from Chesapeake, Virginia originally. Yeah, hey. So I'm from Chesapeake originally. My brother is a barber at High Point in Richmond. So if you guys don't know that, this is my stopping ground. I left this town in 2000, and then my very first acting audition, 8 months of being in LA, was for Power Rangers. So I booked the role and became the Blue Power Rangers time for Ranger. So that it literally started my entire acting career. But being a part of such a huge legacy that's literally lived on, like she said, I have had people come up and say, literally be raised. I was raised with Mighty Morphin, where they kept watching on to all of our seasons and the seasons that are going on today. So I just think it's an amazing thing, and also for the fact that there's a lot of just all ethnicities in here, and for me, I got to identify with Austin St. John, who kind of looked like me when I was younger. I felt like it kind of looks like a superhero, and Walter was like an original black superhero, and Trini was like this Asian superhero. Didn't matter what race you were, what color you were. We all came together as one unit to conquer a common goal to save the world. And for me as a kid, that was such an amazing thing to realize. Growing up here, where half my school was white and half was black, and I was the only Filipino in my school. So, and when I saw Austin St. John, that was wow, I kind of look like him. I've told Austin that before. I was like, no, I used to look at you hey, you're my brother. But it was cool, and then I got to relate to that. So thank you guys for making this live on, and it's been a great ride.
So obviously, another thing that's really cool is that there is so much merchandise that's associated with the Power Rangers. I was wondering, do you guys collect yourself? Do you have any of your own?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hoard Aisha dolls. My husband's told me to stop buying them, but yeah, I think it's just cool to have an action figure and then have so many different versions, and we all get super excited. We'll literally text each other and go, oh my God, did you see my new action figure? Ah! And we'll sign each other's stuff, and we are collectors, I believe, just like everybody else.
I don't just collect myself. I've actually collected, I don't have any this weekend, so don't come up and ask, but normally I have a bunch of random Power Ranger toys. If I'm at a Goodwill or something, I just grab them and give them to kids for free, if I see them. But
Collects Tanya.
Yeah.
He hoards me.
I do. I've given a couple of you out. Yeah.
I know. A lot of
So if I find any Color Ranger in any store, and it's local, it's in a Goodwill box or something, I just take it, because for me it helps the brand in general. Sometimes if people don't have finances for an autographed picture, but I like to see people go home with something, especially if someone that impacts me,
I save things for my kids. I have 2 sons. They're both taller than me, 18 and 16. So I try to hoard things for them and keep them just in case I'm not around. They could be like, hey, my mom's on the shelf. Word.
I end up collecting a lot of the villains because I have to keep my eye on them. But there isn't a whole lot of Zordon merchandise, but hopefully we'll address that later on.
I've been bringing it up. Every time I see someone, I'm like, where's Zordon? We need Zordon.
I've got me a Zed, I've got me a Goldar, and a Rita, so I think I just need a lot of them.
So obviously we're here at Galaxycon, and there's so many different fandoms. So I was wondering, what else are you guys fans of?
Stranger Things. This one here.
Yeah.
Beyond.
I love Stranger Things. I love it, literally. I mean, it's like we're the traveling circus, and this is such a blessing. To meet all these cool people that are doing voiceover, that do anime, they're in shows that we looked up to. I mean, the Comic-Con world is just cool. I'm a fan of all of it.
Yeah, I'm a big Marvel fan, or DC Marvel. I've become more of a Marvel fan just because of the MCU universe in the past. But growing up, I was a huge DC lover. I was a Batman fanatic. I had everything Batman and Superman. I posted a picture on my Instagram of me dressed like Superman because when Dean Cain was my Superman. And anybody watch Dean Cain? Yeah. So Dean was my Superman on TV. So that was people were like, yo, you look like Dean Cain. So
you're half Austin, half Dean Cain.
Yeah, it was. So that was my two. Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, I can be Power Ranger.
Michael does do a very good Red Hood, too, so.
Oh, yeah.
Red Hood.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I did dress up as Red Hood one time.
And Kevin Conroy is just down the road.
Yeah, I came to the con. I was in Philly, and I just came by and started saying hi to them. They didn't know. But what is it? Red Hood. So he's part of the DC.
Oh. I grew up on Wonder Woman.
OG Robin. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was Nobody could tell me anything when I was little. I wore my underoos. Anybody know what underoos are? Woo! I had my Wonder Woman underoos. I had my belt. That was my whip. You know, I just took off my belt and would run around.
It was the lasso of truth.
Yes.
Your whip.
That was my whip, my lasso of truth, and I would hit my brother when he was I ain't gonna lie, because used to punk me, and he was my older brother, so I'm. But
That's why when we get letters from your parents, we tell them, like, they were going to hit each other anyway. It's not our fault. Now they just are karate chopping them. They were going to do that anyway.
This is true. This is true.
Power Rangers did not cause that war.
So we do have a microphone that's set up right in the middle of the room. So whatever questions you guys may have for the Power Rangers panel, now is your time. I urge you, do we have any first willing victims to ask a question? All right. Yes! I love the brave ones. What's your name?
Lone survivor.
My name's Bobby. It's nice to see you.
Hi,
Hey,
Bobby.
Bobby!
I guess I'm trying to figure out my question. I'm a writer for Tokusatsu webcomic right now. I'm a writer for like Tokusatsu, like Power Rangers, Kamen Rider, that sort of thing, like a webcomic right now. And I guess my question was just asking, in your experience as actors on the show and people who have seen like the writing process and the creative process of Power Rangers, what advice would you have for someone who's trying to figure out like what mood or tone to set for their creation?
What mood or tone?
Like what type of like tone you're trying to set for like
Come a
thing
little
that's
closer
similar.
to the mic.
I'm sorry. What type of tone or like mood you're trying to set for something that's similar to Power Rangers?
So are you asking?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, start.
It's not your fault.
So sorry. Just start from the beginning if you don't mind.
Okay. I was just gonna say, I'm a writer of a webcomic, of a Tokusatsu webcomic that's kind of similar to like Power Rangers, Kamen Rider, that sort of thing. And I was wondering, as people who've been involved in like behind the scenes and have seen like the writing process, what type of advice would you have for someone who's trying to write and set a certain mood or tone for that sort of thing?
Yeah, I would stay in the Guardians of the Galaxy type of energy if you're trying to up it. Like just because of that I think a lot of the fandom, I think with the new Power Rangers movie, I think what they were missing was that kind of like comedic tone, like 80s, 90s music, actors not taking themselves so seriously. Study like old Indiana Jones stuff. Like Harrison Ford was great at that. The Rock is incredible at it as well. Ryan Reynolds does a great job. I would study like actors and characters that have a really good job not taking themselves so seriously. Because I think Power Rangers, although it's serious, I think you should keep a tone of it not being so serious. You know, you don't want to take it too serious in terms of like you want to keep it fun. Like I think if I'm speaking for the fans, we want to enjoy the entertainment ride. You know, what I mean, it's a fun experience at the same time as it being morally, indulging as well. You know, so I've always thought that Power Rangers stood for a lot of moral beliefs and also kept a really good comedic tone.
Yeah, kind of piggyback what he said. I mean, it's about the characters, you know, and I think that the seasons of Power Rangers that are really popular were those seasons where they really developed those characters. And you kids, now adults, like you identified with it. You were able to see yourself in that. And I always think that that's the heart of, you know, you can have X, Y, and Z, and how you get to that journey, you know, that it is what it is, but it's those characters who bring it all to life and connect all the dots. So I'm really big when I write on character development, you know.
Yeah, Scorsese talks about that a lot too.
Yeah.
Focus more on the characters, and I think that's why the best directors are the actor directors, because they really, I've worked with directors who don't really kind of gel or kind of entertain the actors, but the ones that really do get into the actors' heads, that really understand character development, know that, like, Wolf of Wall Street was so big because of his work on the character development. From Goodfellas to Wolf of Wall Street, you just see, like, they create iconic characters.
Characters drive the plot. Just remember that the characters are what drive the plot. If you try to force the characters into some sort of plot situation that you've come up with, that's kind of a recipe for disaster. So know your characters well enough that you know how they're going to react with whatever you throw in there, and let them tell the story.
I
I just wanted to add to all what every single one of these people were saying, because they're so right. Whenever I've spoken to a producer, they've always talked about when you're trying to sell a show, if you have interesting characters, you can sell a show. So just keep that in mind.
Because I think people, like when you're telling a big story, it's a big picture. So I mean, sometimes you get caught in the big picture of, I want to tell this cool story, I want this cool plot twist, I want this, but it's those characters. And it's true in Power Rangers. I mean, I've seen it at cons. There are certain people that are just, like, people love their character, and it was just because they took the time in those seasons to really develop
Well, even
them.
right now, circumstances, we're sitting in a room in Richmond, okay? Our objective is we're answering your questions, you guys are asking questions, okay? We have a point of view. You guys see us as superheroes, we see you as fans and friends as well. But then, what makes this circumstance, situation entertaining? We sat here and we're like, I am Lucas from Power Rangers, you guys are this. But the fact that our character isn't, you know, we're entertaining. We're the characters of this show that's driving this plot right now. You understand? So the more we're being the characters of our separate entities, the more you're going to be entertained. And the more you're going to talk about it. Like, yo, she came up with beatboxing, and Karan was so funny with this, and he was being, you know, it's like that. You see what I'm saying? It's this is a movie right here. If there was a camera on us right now, like this would be.
There
a
is.
There
We're on
is.
television.
Oh yeah, we are. Hey mama. Hey mama. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? But essentially, take note of this situation and think about it as if we weren't the characters that you maybe expected us to be. There's a reason why she was like, oh, I want this panel to go on all day. That dialogue came out as a result, a reaction to our characters. See what I'm saying? So if your characters are that dynamic, the audience are like, I want to watch that movie again.
Undeniable.
See what I'm saying?
Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
More questions.
Ooh, what's your name?
Hello, I'm Haga. I'm Justin. I grew up. I was 4 when Time Force came on, so
You're good.
I caught it in reruns. I promise. I caught all of it in reruns. So with where we are now, with like the Boom Studio comics, any character can kind of get a new story now. And either last year or 2 years ago, we had Power Rangers versus Justice League. So if you could have your character fight or team up with any superhero, who would it be?
Black Panther.
Wonder Woman.
Me and
Well,
Chadwick.
I drew a picture of me fighting Iron Man that's on my page. And that's cool. But in reality, I think I would team up with either Thor or Hulk.
I know who you want. I know David, like the back of my hand. Captain America. Chris Evans is
Yes, I'm not lucky
and
enough to
Shuri.
actually meet
He wants
him.
to marry
Like
Shuri.
Shuri is awesome.
He wants to have her baby. And be Captain America at the same time.
What are those? Yeah.
Wonder Woman for me. The old and the new. Because I think Gal did an amazing job as Wonder Woman. Yeah. I just need to stand on the side of her. Maybe
She's
lose a little
literally
bit more
kept
weight.
she's kept the DC
Oh, yes.
universe alive for sure.
The only, yeah. That's the only, yeah. Anyway.
Shazam was good. Shazam was good.
No, don't get me wrong, yeah. No, Zach's my new
Oh,
partner.
Shazam. I haven't seen
Hey
Shazam.
Zach, we love Shazam.
I actually liked
Shazam
Aquaman
was
too.
really good.
I
Aquaman
enjoyed
was-
Aquaman as well.
Shazam was good. Shazam Family was awesome.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
again,
see it.
characters.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
those characters were undeniable.
The last 20 minutes of that movie are just fantastic.
And you guys are going to be excited for what's coming. I got Zach's my new partner now in film, but he's been kind of giving me a little bit of tease. So you guys are going to be super uber excited about what's coming up in Shazam.
Thank you guys.
Thank you. Great shirt, by the way. What's your question?
Hello guys, my name is Aaron. This one is for Michael Copon.
Yeah.
So there was rumors going around that there was going to be like a Time Force film. Can you tell me if that was indeed the case and how far did it get along before I guess it got shelved?
No, it didn't shelve. What happened is I was able to finish the script, and then we're also got the art concept drawings. So as I just mentioned, Zach Levi's my partner. We've got a couple other things on our slate. just finance just got closed. So it will not be a Time Force movie. It never was. It was going to be a movie with all Power Rangers in it. So I used that little Time Force thing as like a little fun little video. So it was just a movie like Expendables as I said in the trailer, Expendables meets Guardians of the Galaxy, things like that. So it's supposed to be just a big sci-fi movie, which it still is, and I'm still going to put, a lot of past Rangers in the film.
Are you referring to what's called The Order? I remember that was like.
No. That's Karen. That's Karen's project. Yeah, that's Karen's project. I know it's a little confusing, but so anyway, so my project is still happening. It's just, there was never a Time Force project ever. If you go back and watch the trailer, I even say in the trailer, it's not a Power Ranger movie. It's just a movie that's sci-fi with Power Rangers in it. So I think the fans just got a little I guess confused on it. But the money that was raised definitely went to where I'm at now, where I just secured my finance and my $50 million film slate. So we've got a lot of great things in starting 2020. I'll be opening up a post facility here in Virginia, Fort Monroe.
Oh,
thank you. So VR, we're focusing on VR, AR content. So that's going to be really ambitious of me, and I'm excited about that. And Fort Monroe's been an iconic area due to our past, wars and slavery and stuff. So we even wrote a film regarding that called Freedom Fort, and we look at doing that film probably in 2024. But yeah, we're very, very excited. Zach's the lead of my new TV show. I've got 2 projects with Appian Way with Leonardo DiCaprio. Netflix has already guaranteed me on those documentaries. And then with everything else, my project is now called Star Force, and it's going. It's going to take a while, but it's a $25 million budget, so it's obviously couldn't do it with the $11,000 that I did raise. That can barely pay for most script writers. PGA script writer is with treatment is $75,000. Most people don't realize that. So, but nonetheless, I'm very ambitious as a filmmaker and super excited to keep this going for the rest of my life. So if you guys are out there and you want to know what's going on, that's what's going on, and I'm very excited about my future.
Hey, best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Love your hair, man.
Hi, I'm Karan. First off, Michael, welcome home.
Thank you.
Second off, just for all of you, I just want, this series has been going on for nearly 30 years. So what do you think has made it stick? What do you think has made it just go on for, like, I guess 27, 20, something like that years now?
I think the heart of the show is basically teaching everybody to look out for one another, to when you have friends, to stick by them and to stand up for them. And I think that speaks to people no matter what background you're from, where you live, or what country you're from. The heart of it is together we can do more. And I think that's a good message for our climate today, when everything seems to be so divisive. And that's why it really gravitates to a lot of people and brings us all together. So I think that's what the heart of it is.
I also think we're creatures of habit. So I think that when Disney bought it season after mine, they didn't keep the same formula in which Saban was able to buy it back for a lot lower price than he sold it to them for, and then brought it back up because he knows the content. So I think keeping the same kind of thing, it's like that Italian restaurant that's been on the corner since 1931 that's just known for doing that same great thing all the time. I think that's what Power Rangers has been. That's why we have a cult following. We have a great formula that Saban started, and I think people they want to see that consistency. At least our fan base, from what I know.
I think the characters are also relatable. I often have wonderful fans that come to the table and say, I finally saw someone that looks like me. I finally saw someone that acts like I do, who's not girly, but is a tomgirl.
Y'all know what I meant. A tomboy. Okay? But I think that it goes back to the characters and us being identifiable and relatable, and that makes you want to watch.
Yeah, and it's like, Power Rangers has a magical quality where any child can sit in front of the TV and they can become that hero. you know, and I think that really is tapped in. And the fans, I always say, we all left the show at some point and went on and started doing other projects and living our lives, and you guys are the ones, you guys have stayed true. Like, most of our fans said, I've watched from the beginning all the way through, or these are my favorite, but I still watch it. So I always give it all the credit to you guys, because, you know, you guys have kept it alive, you guys have stayed true as a fandom.
And you have to give it up to Ron Wasserman, too, for establishing the music of the show, which grabs everybody in. And that's consistent throughout all the series. The music is really what, you know, grabs everybody, brings them right into it.
Like we brought the music actually on just regular music degree. I feel like that actually just reaffirms why I go into the field, power of music.
That's great. Congratulations on that.
Thank you for your question, my love.
Thank you, great question.
So we only have about 10 minutes left, so I want to make sure y'all
Fire.
Okay,
Rapid
cool.
fire.
Fire them out.
Okay. Actually, I'm just going to forget my questions because they'd probably take a while. But I wanted to say thank you. I grew up with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Sat in my living room pretending to fight for Zed. Accidentally chained myself to the fireplace. Well, it was the episode where Tommy got, yeah. But thank you, and keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Shayla. I'm from Richmond, and as you see, I'm wearing my Power Ranger.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that I love you guys. I've been watching since I was a little kid, and I just have one question. If you guys could be any different colored Power Ranger, what would it be?
I would be the White Tiger Megazord. That was the cleanest Power Ranger look ever, in my opinion.
I would be the Black Gold Ranger. I just like the way it looked. When Austin came back for Zeo, the Gold Ranger, that suit was just fabulous.
I know, I always say I don't want another color because I love being Yellow Ranger, but I would probably be the Red Ranger just because I'm bossy and I would want to be a leader. And it would be cool for a girl to lead the team. Like, I love the seasons where girls led, you know.
I really like the design of Magna Defender, so I think that was good.
Thank you.
Thank
Great
you.
question.
Great question.
Good afternoon. My name is Mark. I'm a lifelong Power Ranger fan.
Thank you.
Zeo was my favorite season. No
Yeah,
offense
yeah.
to anybody else, but yeah, definitely. I just wanted to ask, what was your best and worst moment of filming Power Rangers in your respective seasons? Or you could just say the best, being that this is.
I would say the best and the worst. The best was getting the job, being there. And I remember standing in the command center for the very first time, because I was in college at the time studying theater, film, and television, and to be able to be blessed with the job before I graduated, I was like, thank you, Jesus! So I was standing in the command center, and I remember I just was looking around, and it was so brightly lit, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm on set. There's like a camera there, and it was just an awe moment for me. And my worst moment was when I had to pass the torch. Kat and I were boohooing the entire They were like, cut! Do it again! We're like, we can't stop crying! But it was a very sad moment because we didn't know. We had bonded so much as a cast that we didn't know if we were going to see each other after that. And most of us didn't. Kat and I saw each other, but I didn't see any of the other cast until we start doing Comic-Cons, which has been a blessing, doing Comic-Cons. And then I meet, people from Time Force and I had never met David Fielding. I met Karan at an audition, but, you get to meet all of these, the Power Ranger family. Yeah.
We've all become. I think the best thing for me was when I filmed Universal Studios. We did a Movie Madness episode, and for me, like being in my first project in the back lot where Back to the Future filmed, and they still had the sets back there in 2000. So I'm like back there where big movies filmed, and I'm like, wow, I'm like a part of this like history, as an actor. Yeah, I'm like, I made it, mama. I think the best part for me, but I was so young, and they waited till I turned 18 to start filming. So it was a great experience there. But I would say the straight up worst thing was just the fact that we got paid hardly anything, and no compensation for toys, like our faces on the box, and
You guys were union though, right?
Yeah, but it was a
You
modified.
guys were
Yeah, it was a modified. We got a little bit better than
Yes,
their
you got
situation.
better than we did.
But even then, the fact that you know, like our faces on the boxes, and all of us, our faces in the box, things like that. And like we didn't get. I had to actually go buy my own toys. They didn't give us free toys. So the fact that's like straight up the worst. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to offend anyone, but I mean, at least give us a free toy. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least give me like 30 or 100 of my toys. I had to go, like, literally meet Jason Font. We went to Toys R Us and bought like 5 or 6 of our toys because they were like, we remember went up to the front, the producer's room, and do we get toys? They're like, they laughed at us, like, and I was like, you mean we gotta go buy our own toys? They're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, so we went to Toys R Us and bought our own toys. But other than that, like, every moment in Power Rangers was awesome. I even have it tattooed on my arm for that very reason. But and just speaking on their behalf, so they don't have to say this, like, they got compensated way worse than us. And that's even like, as you guys have probably read, what happened to some of the recasting in Mighty Morphin. But I mean, like, dude, we're #1 TV show in the world. That's the only thing that should have been changed.
I agree.
So I'll say it for them because that way they don't have to say it. But that was everyone's worst.
Can I just say something really quickly because you said that? Since you're rough at it.
Open the can of worms!
When I got my first paycheck, I cried.
Wow.
Seriously. No, it was not tears of joy. I was like, I made more in UCLA catering. And I was like, what is this? But you know what? What I say from the whole thing is this has been full circle. Because without Power Rangers, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be able to travel and meet all of our fans. So this is our residuals.
Yeah.
This is our, you know.
Yeah. And they're right. Like, the television show it was brutal in that way because you realize very quickly that you're just, like, I remember a producer saying, you guys are just a 30-minute commercial for us to sell toys. And you're just like, wow. Like, but that's the kind of, I mean, as a cast, we got along great. It was just the powers that be kept you in that box. And we were very blessed because we got to go and shoot the movie. And so we go to Australia, 20th Century Fox. They paid us well for the film. But when we got back home, it was like punishment. It was like, if you do this, you'll get fired. And I mean, it was crazy. It was just a crazy mentality when you knew that the franchise itself was making, they'd already amassed a couple $1 billion with a B, not a, you know. So that was the only bad thing. Like, the sad part is we all got along well. We all would have shot the show for 20 years if they would have kept us. But like you said, most of the people left just because you could not make a living on this show, and it wasn't, you weren't really, you know, you were reminded that you were just another face, and there would be others if you know, if you didn't do it.
Yeah.
So it was tough. It was a tough.
Just to put things in perspective, I got paid more in 2 episodes of One Tree Hill than I did the entire season of Power Rangers.
It's true. I did a commercial. Like, literally, I left the show, and I did a national commercial, and I made more doing that commercial than I made in 2 months on the show. Like, and it was, I worked for 1 day. So it was just crazy.
Yeah.
But it was a good stepping stone.
So when y'all come out and support us, it really supports. But it's like, yeah, go ahead, Dave.
My best and worst moments came within 3 weeks of one another because I got cast as the mentor and leader of this great superhero team, and I thought, that's awesome. That's fantastic. And then 3 weeks later, I get a phone call saying, congratulations, the show's been picked up. It's going to be on TV. And I'm like, fantastic. When do I show up to film? They're like, oh, no, we're not going to do that. We're just going to bring you in and do voices. So I learned very quickly what the show was and how it was going to be run. And I never got to have some of the experiences that these guys got to have as far as like being on set with each other and forming a camaraderie and sort of thing. I felt very disconnected from the whole thing. But
we shot all of Zordon in 1 day.
In 1 day.
Wow. Everything you saw in all 180 Mighty Morphin episodes,
and
1
because
day.
they had that stock footage.
Because it went on to space too, right?
Yeah, as the technology got better, they were able to manipulate the image and turn it so you get to see different angles and stuff. So for them, it was a super awesome business decision as far as being able to use that. From an actor standpoint, it really kind of blew. But again, as Nakia pointed out, I get to come here and be a part of all this. So.
Papa Z.
That's what I'm saying. Slow and steady wins the race.
That's right. Papa Z forever.
Sorry, I see some sad faces back there.
And some of them are like,
Oh my gosh, I am so sorry.
It's like the good, the bad, the ugly.
We didn't mean to be Debbie Downers. You asked us a question. We just wanted to be on. And I'm sorry I opened the can, but
I
I,
mean,
wanted to
there's-
speak on their behalf because we can sit here and go, oh, the worst thing was this episode, but really the worst thing is this.
Well, you couldn't
There
pay
are-
your rent.
there are other actors on other properties that have worse stories than we do. I mean, it's the movie magic that happens. There's so much crap that goes on behind the
David,
scenes you don't even know.
we're out of time.
no. I was going to say the worst thing is we have to end this panel.
Oh.
I apologize.
One question. Can we just grab him really quick?
We'll
Yes,
answer.
I just
We'll
wanted-
answer in less than 5 seconds. Go.
Okay. All right. My name is Justin. This is a question me and my friends have been heavily debating on. Who would win in a fight between the Megazord and Godzilla?